This is the podcast talking with my grandpa before he croaks. I think it's been a while since I've called the title of the podcast. But yeah, welcome nonetheless. It's been
Yeah,
a little bit. Um, how are you doing?
I'm okay. I didn't croak yet.
I'm
I'm,
glad.
I'm,
Otherwise,
I'm
we'll have
at
to, when that happens, what we'll have to do is we'll have to do what they
reruns,
did. What?
reruns.
No. What we'll have to do is we'll have to do what they did to Dick Clark. They tie him up with strings every year, and then tell him at the end of the year. I'm sorry, that was bad. Because that's what they
Okay.
did. He was near dead the last like 5 years of his life, and they put him in front of a television so he could say Happy New Year's. He looks
Yeah,
stuffed.
yeah, I
Uh,
understand. I understand.
well, anyways, we have a wonderful game to play today. This was the one that you came up with. Would you like to explain it, or shall I?
Yeah, I'm going to make a statement, and it could be with a simple answer or an in-depth answer. The statement would be answered by "it's okay" or "it's not okay." And some of the statements are silly, funny. Some of them are serious. Some may take a quick answer. Some may take, like I said, an in-depth answer. So, without
That's a
further ado, you want to start?
that's a wonderful way to put it. Yeah, let's start. Go ahead. You started off. Go for the first one.
Okay. The first one is kind of serious.
Okay.
Is it okay for teenagers to have sex?
Um, oh, my sweater's on backwards. Is it okay for teenagers to have sex? Yeah, I think it's okay with proper education. I think specifically the American education system fails to educate society in general on sex education, um, by any sense of the word, because all I remember is being told how to use a condom and what pregnancy is, not like realistically not ways to like protect against it and whatsoever. I was told what a condom is, that birth control is a thing, and that you can get pregnant if you have sex without a condom. And that's it. They didn't no help centers, no guidance, no and it was kept very taboo because the teachers who did it were also uncomfortable. So there's very much discomfort with it. If we had
Okay.
better education, um yeah. Well, like if they're doing it
So
safely, sure.
what's your answer? Okay or not okay?
Um, I think, mind you, also, when we say teenagers, I'm talking 17, 18,
Okay,
16.
okay or not okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, now I want to get into this briefly. First of all, when we talk teenager, we're talking 13 to 19.
Well, that's of
So,
course that's the stipulation here. If we're going to take it
yes.
to the full extent, if it's a blanket term of the full teen range, no, no.
Okay. So, my answer is uh, it's not okay because even though teenagers are going to have it, regardless of what they're taught in school, if they're taught in school,
Right.
or what their parents tell them, if they want to have it, they're going to have it, whether they're educated or not. And because of the age disparity between 13 and 19 and the possible mental damage, because somebody could think they're in love with somebody, have sex, and then the next day they break up, I'm going to say it's not okay.
That's a
Okay, so,
very more in-depth perspective that I was not thinking of, but I do agree with
uh,
it.
okay. Uh, let's move on. Is it okay to allow your pet to sleep in bed with you?
This one just feels like you're bitter against the fact that you had to have pets sleep with you. Um, I personally, because I'm allergic to every living thing outside of human beings, um, I can't answer this as accurately as I can. Um, yeah, I think it's fine. Like I think at times you're gonna have nights where you're like, no, I don't want to sleep with you. But I think it's fine if you have pets. Yeah, why not? It's an extra cuddle buddy. But yeah, I think you're just bitter.
Okay, I'm going to add on to that. Bitter, not bitter, but uh, pets bring germs into the bed. They're lovable and all that. In today's society, they bring too many germs in the bed. I mean, I've had cats sleep on my head, dogs sleep in between my wife and myself. Um, but
We're talking about actual dogs, right? Not the other
no,
kind of
not
dogs.
not 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 somebody I picked up at the bar when I was single. No,
Right.
but
Okay.
no, but there's an old joke. How do you get a woman to stop having sex with you? Marry her. Okay, so another way is to
Awful.
have too many pets in the bed. So I would say it's not okay. And what do you say?
I say it's okay.
Okay, okay, okay. There's two different
All right.
viewpoints. It's not
Let let
okay.
me let me
What?
bring one in. Let me bring one in. It's is it okay or not okay to have a 4-day work week?
A 4-day work week, I think, is okay. I think it would be very productive. People can get as much done in 4 days as they can in 5 days, and then look forward to a 3-day vacation. However, I would say it's okay unless your boss gives you work to take home for the 3 days. So if you can go in for 4 days and come home for 3 days and have time off, I say it's okay.
Agreed. 100% agree. Yes. Yeah, that one's pretty short. Um,
Yeah.
is it okay or not okay to have stronger relations with your friends over your family?
It's not okay if you have a family that you love and you're close to, because families are forever. Friends are not forever, because I've learned that I have one best friend, Stu, and I have other friends, but they're involved with their families. So families are forever, and friends come and go. And as long as families are alive and they're good family members, I say families are okay.
Interesting. I would say, based off what I said, which was having stronger relations with friends over family, you would say it's not okay to have stronger friends than family. I would say it's okay for the reason of, and this is something I think that shows our generational gaps, is just because your family doesn't mean you have to be close to them. Um, and that's specifically a lot of people in my generation are learning that a lot, is just because your family doesn't mean you have to have relations with them, let alone good relations with them. And for that reason, they're making their own quote unquote, shall we say, families with their friends. And these are people who are staying with them for 5 to 10 years, if not longer. Um, so I would say it's okay. Is it something that should happen every time? No, I'm simply saying it's okay. So yeah, I that's where I stand on it. I think the I think it's a very old mentality to demand people to have good relations with family just because they're family. If you come to a head with someone and you know it's not going to ever work, but you've genuinely given it a shot at trying, like genuinely, not just people who are fed up with each other and don't want to put the effort in. You genuinely, because this one has a mental health issue, this one has their own prior issues, this one has their own family, whatever it may be. If it comes to that point You wouldn't continue a relationship with with a stranger. Doesn't so simultaneously you shouldn't if it's your just because it's your family doesn't mean that. So I would say it's okay to have strong relations with your friends over your family. Uh,
Okay,
obviously, obviously when applicable, not every time.
okay. So let's put it more personalized.
Okay.
Uh, I take my family over my friends all the time. So I think it's okay to
And that's
have,
okay too. That's okay
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Why?
What I'm saying
Because
is what I'm saying is the inverse is okay. It's okay that it happens and that I'm okay with it because I know people who would say never. Family is always first. Family is the one. Friends will never work. And that's fine. But I would say it's okay if people choose friends over family because at times the friends are better than the family and they're closer than the family and they
well,
do more, know more.
it's an individual case, Peter.
Right. Well, but that's I mean
Uh,
that's the part of the game. It's it's an individual case and we debate on it.
okay. Do you have, and you could give me an answer I may not like, but do you have any friend that you could depend on more than me?
Depend on more than you. No.
Okay. Uh, so you have a big family, and it's a complicated family. So I won't get into it because it's personal, but none of your friends have fed you, paid your bills, put you through college. So I think everything's an individual case. Once you get on your own, then I think that's when you could say it's okay with friends being equal to family. But again, it's an opinion. And you know what I say about opinions?
What?
Everybody has an asshole, everybody has an opinion.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
Unless you're King Jong Un, then he says he doesn't take a crap, so therefore he doesn't have an
Okay.
asshole.
That's right.
Um,
Okay. So it's a wide open question, individuality on it. Okay.
correct.
Okay. I'll throw one at you now.
Go ahead.
I want you to give this deep thought.
Okay,
Is
yeah,
it
real deep.
is it okay to pass wind in an elevator with
Absolutely.
other people in it?
Absolutely. I will knock down every person in that elevator if I have to. I'll stand at the door to make sure that they all walk through it when they leave. Of it is 100% okay. Now, hold on. One thing. If you shit your pants trying to pass one, then we have an issue. Like if you've got stomach problems, like I have IBS, sometimes I gotta rip. It hurts and I can't keep it in. Like sometimes you can keep it in. You're like, yeah, I'll just like hold off and whatever. I got IBS. Sometimes that crap's gotta go. Um,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Man.
by all means, and it's natural. We all do it. We're all just humble cows here, grazing on our
Mm-hmm.
pastures. So yeah, but at the same
Okay.
time, if you shit your pants in the elevator, we're gonna have a little bit of an issue because that's not a fart, that's a shart, and that's too far because that's gonna ferment. And if that elevator breaks and I'm stuck in there with that, we're gonna have an issue.
Well, okay. I understand. Uh,
So it's
now,
okay. It's okay to fart in the elevator.
okay, I agree. It's okay, but I think it's even better to look at somebody else and and claim that they did it.
I mean, look,
An
it
SPD, silent but deadly.
that's well, yeah, or you like hide it. You hide it with a cough or you go on your phone and you accidentally, quote unquote, throw music on your phone for a second and it masks the fart. Yeah, there's tons of ways to. And then yeah, you look at the guy behind you and you like, what the hell's wrong with you? Or you give it a minute, you let it ferment, let it get in the elevator so people get a whiff, then you catch on, and then you look at someone because if you smell it first and then other people smell it, then it's obvious you did it. So you got to give it a minute. You
That's
got to
right.
pretend you don't
Yeah,
smell it. It's got to get to
yeah,
you.
because he who smelt it dealt it.
Right. So you
Right.
gotta be like the second or third guy who smells it, and then it's
Mm.
okay. But if you're the
Or you
first,
could, yeah, or you could just be in the elevator and say, smells like somebody's cooking good in the restaurant,
nice, nice,
right?
yeah.
Uh, okay.
Or
Uh,
you can just be an absolute badass and just own it and just be like, yep. You
that's
just
right.
go and then loud as hell, and you go, yeah, yep.
Yep. Especially at an interview.
You,
Uh, on the way to the interview, when your future possible boss is in the interview in the elevator with you. So we
yeah,
both say it's okay.
yes,
Okay. Now, I want to give you a mixed question.
okay.
Okay. In my day, it was okay to compliment the opposite sex on the way they look. In fact, you could walk up over to a female friend, put your arm around their waist or around their shoulder and say, "Oh man, you look great." Is it okay to do it today or not okay?
Now this is a mixed one. I think in its and I'm putting special parameters around it on purpose. Um, it is okay if it is of actual complimentary intent, and not catcalling. So what I mean is I can go into my acting class and I can see someone and go, "Oh, I really like your shirt today. Like, that's really nice." That's a nice way to compliment someone. But to go, "Hey, your tits look great in that shirt," that's technically a compliment, but that's aggressive and no one appreciates that kind of compliment. Um, so is it okay to compliment people, guy to girl, girl to guy? Yes, it is. But I think it has to come with the stipulation that you are aware that that most people don't like the aggressive catcalling type. So if you're going to compliment, it should be some form of a softer, more passive compliment that allows them to agree or disagree without the concern of their safety. Now it's a lot of stipulations, but that's also because women have to deal with a lot of unwanted aggressive compliments. So yes, it's okay if it is truly a compliment and not a means to have a conversation or a means to have sex or a means to get an extra look in. If it's a genuine means of a compliment, it most of the time will not be an issue.
Okay,
That's why it's okay.
so you say it's okay today. I say that it used to be okay. I don't think it's okay today because at any time for putting your arm around a woman or around her waist, she can say you touched her and she didn't ask to be touched, even though it was innocent. So I say it's not okay.
Well, but hold on though, because you can't. I mean, we're also recognizing that men tend to have the audacity to do things without asking. Yeah, if you put your arm around a woman and she didn't ask for it, you should be spoken to. Or if you put your arm on her shoulder, yeah, you should be spoken to. If you guys are friends and that's something you casually do, sure. But if it's a, let's say you're at a dinner party and it's some guy's wife, you don't put your arm around his wife unless she asked for it because she didn't ask
In
for it.
general, in general, you say it's okay.
I would say overall, yeah, I think it's okay if it is a true compliment, like I said, because the word
Okay.
compliment is can be interpreted in many ways. If it is a genuine compliment meant for its sole purpose, not backed by sex or other ulterior motives. If it is genuinely a compliment, then I believe it is all right.
Okay. So, and if you don't touch and you say to somebody, you look lovely in that dress, I say it's okay. But if it's touching, I say it's not okay.
Yeah, I
And
mean, a perfect example is like when I'm in my acting class and we have scenes where we have to get intimate with someone, where we have to not have sex with them, but we have to, hold them like we would our husbands or wives or our girlfriends and boyfriends, where we have to massage their hand, hold their shoulders, their legs, maybe kiss. We ask them first. We don't just do it, even though we know it's a scene and it's fake and we got to do it. we still ask because
Okay.
if the other person says no, then we find a way around it. Because if they're not comfortable with it, we're going to find a way around it. We're not going to force them to do a scene where they have to hold my hand if they're not comfortable. We'll do something else. We'll we'll walk next to each other. We'll hold a bag together. That way we can still be intimate without having to touch. I mean,
Hmm.
and granted, it's up to every person's discretion because they may say no and then the company may fire them because they want this scene. Fine. But we always ask
Okay.
permission.
I once had a funny incident at the time, embarrassed me. I at the time, before I shrunk an inch or two from age, I was like 5'6". I was with uh, a woman I worked with, and she had like a cleavage type front, and she must have been like 5'10". And she looked at me and she said to me, "Would you look at my face and stop staring at my boobs?" Something in that order. And I said to her, "What do you want me to do? Get on a box?" And, you know, you got to be very careful these days with everything you do because everybody is sensitive and everybody's in this cancel mode that they
I
can.
I disagree. I disagree greatly. I don't think everyone's in cancel mode. I think it feels like everyone's in cancel mode because we are finally separating what is consent, what is not consent, what is okay, and what's not okay. Because
Okay.
prior to recently, everything was either made by or assumed by men, and they're white men, straight white men specifically, um, cis hetero white men. Um, and so, like, it was understood by these men that, like, yeah, it's fine to look at my wife's tits. They're beautiful. Look. Or what, or, well, oh, you don't want me looking at your tits? You don't think you're beautiful? Whatever. You're fired. What? So I think it
Well,
feels more cancel culture and um,
well,
more
it's not.
problematic because we are breaking down assumptions and expectations that were held up for centuries or decades or however long.
It's
Uh,
not okay. It's not okay, in my opinion. And your opinion, it's okay. And to me, it's also not okay to use the word tits.
Well, that's now we're getting into nitty gritty. If you want to say boobs instead of tits, that's fine. I like that. That's just a preference. That's like people who say fuck instead of shit. It's fine. That's how it is. It's great. You
Okay.
got your preferences. I like blue. You like green. I like brunettes. You like blondes. That's how it
Okay.
is.
Okay. You got it. You got another one?
Oh yeah, I got plenty.
Okay.
Socks and sandals.
Oh, I think it's not okay.
Thank
I
you.
think
It's
it's
not okay.
I think it's so ridiculous. The reason why you wear sandals is for comfort and have your feet in the open air.
I agree. Um,
Some people just
socks.
have bad some people just have bad toes and toenails, so they wear socks, you know.
I will tell you right now, socks and sandals are awful. The worst sandals. I don't care anyone who is listening. If you own these, I am talking directly to you. Birkin sandals. If you wear Birkin sandals with socks, I do not want to talk to you.
I agree. It's not
You're
okay.
you look like you're walking around with like the I can't even comprehend it. They're like shoes from Jesus's time. It's like the Jerusalem nines. You can't you look like you just watched him crucify himself. They're awful. They
Okay.
are awful and they do not support any function other than to look homeless. I
Okay.
don't care
I
how
got you.
comfortable they may be.
You have another one?
Oh yeah, I got another one. Uh Taxing billionaires to kingdom come.
I believe it's okay.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
believe
good.
I believe, but not to kingdom come because I don't know what kingdom come is. But I believe there should be an extraordinarily high tax that uh, billionaires cannot avoid, and where the money is put to good use, not you know used poorly by our government. So it's
So,
okay.
all right, sidebar. I have a little mini fun fact session for like 2 minutes that I got to bring up regarding billionaires and rich people. One, for those who haven't heard, Jeff Bezos made and paid for a mega yacht that has a mini yacht inside of it. It literally has a back hatch that a mini yacht comes out of. The boat is so big, and it's in I forget where it is in uh, well, I forget what European country it's in. It has to be dismantled and then remantled in the water. And to get it out on sea, he is paying for a historical bridge to be dismantled so that he can get his hundreds of $1 million yacht to the ocean. Um, that's wildly horrendous and awful. The man and it shows you that how much power these billionaires have, that they are literally able to buy off countries to dismantle historical structures so that they can get their stupid ass yachts to the water. Um, and people plan to egg the hell out of the yacht as it goes by, which is kind of funny. Number two, Elon Musk, with his Neuralink implants, he implanted them into 23 monkeys, or was it 32 monkeys? Um, it was 32 monkeys. And so out of the 32 monkeys, I believe it was 32, it might have been 23. Because I'm mixing the numbers up. I don't know if it was 23 that had died or 23 and then out of the 23 11 had died. Either way, Elon Musk, to test out his Neuralink brain chip thing to connect people wirelessly through their brain. He tested them out on monkeys, and it was something along the lines of like 60% to 70% of the monkeys that he had put the chips in had died, for various reasons, all related to the neural chip that they tested them on. Yeah. And so great. Billionaires are doing wonderful things, everything but helping society.
I
Um,
disagree. Totally disagree with you. The question was, should they be taxed
oh no,
heavily
I
or
know they should be
to give
taxed.
them?
I simply brought that up as
Okay.
it reminded me of
Okay.
it because I was reading about them recently.
Okay. I think
So,
billionaires have become billionaires. When you become a billionaire, you're not lucky. You're maybe even a genius. So when you make money, you're entitled to do whatever you want with the money you have, as long as you're not breaking the law. And if they want to institute a higher tax, I'm fine with it. But to tell somebody that they can't have a yacht inside a yacht, uh, or tell them what they can do with the money that they've earned, I'm against it. And the question again was about taxes. You and I have a different opinion on people with wealth as opposed to people without it. And that's not part of it's okay, it's not okay.
that's well, hold on. They're allowed to have their yacht. It's not okay to dismantle historical structures and things like that, just so they can get their stupid ass yacht because they should have just built it somewhere else. If they've got that kind of money, airdrop it. Have a helicopter, bring it down into the water. Um, so
It's
that's where I
their
disagree.
money.
They can have their yachts, they can have their things. Also, I would add, we learned this with Spider-Man 20 years ago. With great power comes great responsibility.
Uh,
Well, we learned about
he's
Spider-Man many more than that, but specifically in the film, great power comes great responsibility. When you are a billionaire, you have a responsibility for other things. Also, none of these billionaires are billionaires because they worked hard. They're all
oh, I totally disagree with you.
underpaying, they're offshoring, and they're doing
I
all the loopholes and all the underpaying and paying the
that
people of other countries. We're gonna get into a whole
to,
thing. Let's
Yeah, I
let's
totally disagree with you. Let's just stick with tax. Yes, I think
yeah.
they should be taxed. And let me just throw in a lot of these billionaires are contributing to uh, uh, cancer funds and getting people well and their nations that need help. We just don't hear about it. So
they're
uh,
also funding lobbying, and they're also
that's
funding their
true. I
own
mean,
projects and tests that then cause people to have cancer because they're
yeah.
testing out new products.
So let's just talk about taxes because we don't know what they're doing. But I will just not get into it with you now. We could do a whole podcast on it because we totally disagree about accumulating wealth. I believe
Agreed.
it's okay. You're towards being a socialist. Okay.
All right, you go for one now. You go for one. I got my couple in.
Okay. Is it okay to have lunch every day with the opposite sex from work or school when you're married or in a relationship? And the
Um,
key part is every day.
um, I mean, so here's my question though, because this is quite pertinent. Is it Are you and this person getting lunch because you work in the same area, or are you guys choosing to meet up for lunch? Like, do you like, yes, okay, you may work in the same building, but let's say, are you both secretaries who work for the same department and you just get off at the same time, or do you meet to have lunch together?
Good question. Um, let's do the first question.
So,
You work in the same, but there's
okay, so it just so happens
hundreds of
that,
hundreds of people in the building that you could have lunch with, but you meet every day.
so let's say you've developed a friendship with this person and that's why you get lunch with them. Um, if
Okay or
that's
not
the
okay?
Assuming you have other friends in the building, which I would presume you would, it's not okay.
I
Personally,
agree.
personally,
I
I don't
agree.
think it's okay. I think you can be friends with someone, but if you can be friends with them, you can have lunch with them a lot. And I'm a very secure person with my relationship, you know, because her and I have a very open communication. If either of us are uncomfortable, we say something. If either of us are worried that this might be of discomfort, we communicate that. With that being said, I I would be I would probably bring it up with my girlfriend if she was like, "Hey, yeah, I've been having lunch with this same guy for like 3 months now, and I've got all these other friends, but I'm only having lunch with him."
Opposite sex.
That's what I'm saying. She would be having lunch with a guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but that's my point is like, because at a certain point, if you have other friends, why are you having lunch with them all the time? If you're starting a business, if you're working together and you're working on your off lunch hours, yeah, okay, if there's a reason why. But if you have other friends and you're only having lunch with them, then there's a reason. And whatever that reason is, either needs to be discussed or handled. So no, I I don't think at its plain response, without adding any stipulations, at its plain response, no, I don't think it's okay. Um, Purely because if they're having lunch like that consistently, then it probably means they're something's. I'm making an assumption without recognizing the situation because it's a very blanket statement. No, it's not okay.
I say it's not okay. Now, if you meet and you're not near each other, I say it's totally not okay.
If you're not near each other and you meet for lunch, I think it's fine if it's not a regular occasion.
No, it's regular.
Yeah, well, if it's regular, no, because then that's even more of a reason to say you're going out of your way to meet this person on your lunch hour. That's either not your significant other or what have you. Um, yeah, no, that's not okay at all because that means you're
Okay.
actively seeking this person's attention for whatever reason, whatever that reason that you are seeking their attention doesn't mean you have
Mhm,
to get it in your partner, but what about this person
mhm,
that is bothering you? Also, I would add it doesn't have to be opposite sex. It's dependent upon who you're interested in. Because if you're gay, if you're LGBTQ plus A, um, doesn't matter
mhm,
where you are, if it applies to you in that circumstance,
mhm.
any form of gender and sexuality. So I would say,
Okay.
yeah, it's an issue.
Yeah. Well, to quote your deceased grandmother, who used to tell your mother, "All men stink. except for your grandpa. So you got to be careful if you're going to be going out with not smell, directly, but have ulterior motives. Eventually, if you give it to them, or they think you are, uh, going out with somebody every day, the man would, the man, maybe more than a woman, would say, "Why is she having lunch with me every day? Maybe she, So I agree, it's not okay.
No. I also agree that the men will more than likely reach that perspective before the women.
Yeah, except for me because I'm just charming, wonderful, and trustworthy.
Of
Okay.
course.
Uh, yes. Yeah. Right. Uh, okay. Here's a sensitive one, and then I'll go back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, is it okay to tell your significant other that he, she, them, it smells?
Yeah. Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, if I smell like crap, I want to know. If I smell that bad where my significant other has to tell me and I for whatever reason can't figure it out myself, I will be thankful they told me. Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
absolutely. I think again, there's a time and place, and I think you could say it in a nicer tone. Like you don't
Mhm.
have to be like, babe, you smell like shit. God. Like, you don't have to make them feel bad, but you
So it's
can definitely
you say it's okay.
100%. Yes, because
Okay.
if I smell, I need to know so I can fix it and not smell.
Okay. That was a trick question because I think that you always say it in a comfortable way, in a respectful way, but I think it's okay, when a woman says to a significant other, uh, honey, I think it's time you took a shower. Okay. Now, you're 23 years of age. Men don't have it that easy. You could be so genteel and so wonderful. If you tell your significant other, especially a wife, that, honey, I love you, but it's time to take a shower or a bath. You better get ready to know how to cook and sleep on the couch for a while.
No, I disagree. I can very immediately disagree because my generation has way better communication skills with our partners. I tell her if she smells, I'll be like, babe, you smell like crap. And she'll laugh and go, I know.
Oh, oh
And
no,
then
no.
I'll say that. She'll laugh and go, yeah, I know. I got a shower later. I was like, okay. And then that's the end of the conversation. Like if let's say we
You're
went
not.
hiking, right? We went hiking that day, really beautiful view, but it was a lot of hiking and we're both sweaty. And whatever reason, she forgot deodorant or something, and she got that funk going on. I'll be like, babe, you got some shit going on. It smells here. And she's like, I know. And then that's it. And then it's funny and we laugh about it. And she
Mm,
tries to like waft some on me. And I'm like, that's funny. And we're done. Now go shower.
okay. It sounds like a good plan, and like you said, different generation. Uh, I
Definitely
say it's
different generation things because
yeah.
my
Wait till you
generation
get
is
married.
we are way more comfortable communicatively to say things like that because we're getting more comfortable with ourselves and our partners to be able to say that and be like, yeah, I just hiked the mountain, so of course it's gonna be a little nasty out here for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, it was a trick question. Uh, it's okay and it's not okay on my side. Again, wait till you get married. You'll see if it's okay or not okay. Things change when you get married. Believe me. Believe
We
me.
shall
You
see.
can't lie. Getting back to one of it's okay, not okay. You can't lie in bed, wife and the dog, and say, something smells in this bed. It's not me and it's not the dog.
I, I don't know what relationships you'd be having. If I said something like that, she'd probably laugh. She would
Okay,
probably
you got
laugh, hit me,
okay.
and then say, and then we'd figure it out. We would smell the dog, someone would smell me, and then I would smell her, and we'd figure out who has it. And whoever it is, we'd be like, okay,
Okay.
go fucking clean yourself.
Okay. You have one for me?
Yes, I do. Um, is it okay or not okay to talk about sex publicly? So, not necessarily what you and your partner do in bed. So, not necessarily like, oh, what we did last night, but sex in general. Is it to have a conversation about it, to talk about things you like or dislike, or things that you see other people like or dislike? Is it okay to have those kinds of conversations in public, i.e., a cafe, a restaurant, wherever? It doesn't have to be boisterous, but public.
It's okay. Uh, you just having a conversation. As long as you know that the people you're with, you're not going to offend. I mean, I used to go out with my wife and another couple, and they were highly religious. So I would not talk about that in front of them because I know I would offend them. Yet I can go out with my best friend and his wife, and we'd have a good, serious talk that would become riotously funny, So that. And then again, this will eat into another question I'm going to ask you about rap music. So I think it's okay to talk about sex depending on who you are with. It's okay.
That's fair. I agree with that. I think it's okay. I think sexual freedom is a thing. By all means, talk about it. Do what the hell you want. It's your conversation. But by all means, within the bounds of those who you're talking to. Because if they're not comfortable, don't. No need to force it. But yeah, I think it's totally okay. And I think it also removes the taboo that a lot of older generations have about sex and talking about sex. Because a lot of them look at it as this thing that's very, very private and like you shouldn't talk about it. And it's like, no, you can talk about it. You just don't have to talk about necessarily what you do, but you can talk about it. So yes, I think
Yeah.
it's okay. Let's do.
So,
I'm gonna do one more, and then you'll do two more, and then we'll finish up.
oh, I got a lot more here.
Oh, all right. Let's keep going then.
Okay.
Let's keep going. Let me do one more. Let me do one more.
Okay.
Um, homework, like school homework. Is it okay or not okay?
Okay. It's if it's given in the proper way. If it's
Well,
given
no, no. Hold on,
lazily,
hold on, hold on. Homework in its current stasis.
not okay.
Agreed.
Okay,
Agreed. Homework has become the new classroom.
that's right. I think it's. I was a teacher, and I think the homework today, the way it's given, is just to make things easier for teachers, even though the teachers have a very tough job. I don't think it's okay. I think you can cover in 5 normal days what you have to cover in the classroom.
Agreed. I agree. Abolish homework. And the only time, personally, I think the only time homework is necessary